challenge, our wizards shine so bright. And as the day unfolds, on adventures we embark. With every spell we cast, we leave our mark. It's Wizard Wednesday! It's Wizard Wednesday! Gather round, the magic's underway! It's Wizard Wednesday! It's Wizard Wednesday! Feel Lord, the runes lead the way! Reading from the book of lore, our voices rise in song. Cult Content Chronicles, where honest hearts belong. This is our anthem for the magic we found. In Wizard Wednesday's call, our hearts are bound. It's Wizard Wednesday! It's Wizard Wednesday! Gather round, the magic's underway! It's Wizard Wednesday! It's Wizard Wednesday! Feel Lord, the rules lead the way!
Good afternoon, wizards, and welcome to another edition of the Community Cult Wizard Wednesday show. This fine day, we are joined by all the outstanding wizards of the Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult, but especially of all, we have our dear friend Fabula joining me today as my co-host.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
Welcome. Thanks so much for jumping on, man. It's been a lot of fun hosting these, and it's been really fun just sort of diving in and getting to do it with other folks. So for those who don't know, we sign on every single week, and we do this fun little show. Sometimes the show is hosted by our dear friends at Magic Machine, and sometimes it's a community-hosted show, such as this week we've got going on now. So for those who don't know, Fabula, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? How do you engage with the community? And what are you working on?
Sure. I'm a, degen like the rest of you. But I love the cult. I've been around since 2021. Didn't mint, but I am a collector and really love the community. And I applied for I basically did a proposal for the House of Wizards, and they said yes to make a Dungeons and Dragons module. I'm a game developer for many years, producer in video games and tabletop games and events and that kind of thing. And so I, have been working hard on this thing. It's taken a lot longer than we thought, but of course that's how it goes. But it's really, really fun, and we've been playtesting with groups of folks, both live and online. And the whole module is based on a original storyline. It's using 4 different wizards, 4 different warriors and 1 wizard, and then has a bunch of guest stars of various wizards and warriors and even babies from all over the Runiverse. And tells a story that hopefully people will have a lot of fun making up their own adventures in.
So I also am a big fan of games, and I also love Dungeons and Dragons and using it as a storytelling tool. But for those who aren't aware, I think a lot of people have heard of D&D. They understand the idea that, okay, you're like a pretend character or something. Can you help folks sort of wrap their brain around the idea of Dungeons and Dragons as a game as well as a storytelling tool?
Sure. The way that D&D started was as kind of a board game, right? So just think about, you're around a table, you're hanging out with your friends, you're basically doing some stuff with maybe dice, with maybe a board, tokens around the board. So it kind of started there, but then became this thing in the early 70s, and then kind of was sort of killed but didn't die in the 80s, and now it's just gigantic, where you're telling stories in a shared universe with your friends, which is a lot like the core mission of the Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult, which that's one thing I love about it. And so the way that you do that is you have someone who's the dungeon master. You probably heard of that term before. and that person is essentially the referee, kind of the core storyteller. They're like the game engine almost for the particular session that you're playing. They take the part of all of the monsters, all of the non-player characters. They even describe the world and react to what the players decide to do. And then the players have a single point of view, usually their character. And in this case, we hope that we have a lot of wizards and warriors and all kinds of folks playing as their tokens in this particular module. And you take turns saying what you're going to do and then reacting to what happens. And that there's a lot of other ways to play it. Dungeons and Dragons, sometimes you're using minis on a grid and you're actually like tactically moving around and having a little Final Fantasy Tactics style game. And then sometimes you're sort of all imagining it together and you're describing the area you're in, the people you're meeting. You talk to them, they talk back to you. You make deals, you piss them off, you make friends, you find cool treasures, magic items, all kinds of stuff that happens in fantasy worlds can basically happen in a session of Dungeons and Dragons. And the point of it is to have an infinite game. It's not a game that you win. It's a game that you can keep playing, keep telling stories. I've run campaigns for 10 years with friends of mine, and we have like storyline in-jokes and storyline things that we refer to each other as we developed the relationship across this game for a decade, right? And so my hope with this module is that it sort of kickstarts an interesting crossover between folks who like RPGs on video games, especially classic ones, because the aesthetic is very much couched in the sort of 16-bit look, right? And it's the first real game that's published for D&D that is going to look like that. And then the whole point is to get people to tell stories, and then those anecdotes can hopefully become lore. And we have a nice virtuous circle where people like making up stories together and then going to the book of lore and putting them in based on their characters. That's my hope.
That is such a fantastic way to think about D&D, and I really loved. Great explanation, because it is sort of a hard thing for folks to wrap their mind around. That we're just going to sit around and tell stories together, and that's sort of going to become lore. But that's really what we're doing here in the Forgotten Runes Wizard cult in general, at large. And so I love that you're working on this sort of tool, this sort of layer to help facilitate that. And some of my favorite stories began as Dungeons and Dragons games, and so I'm really excited to get folks the opportunity to do more of that. We've done plenty in the past as a community. Magic Machine funded some Dungeons and Dragons games. Community members funded some other Dungeons and Dragons games. So we've got a history with it already. And I can't wait to see more come of it. Bear, good afternoon. Thanks for joining. What's cooking?
Hey, happy Wizard Wednesday.
Go Bear.
Hey, I'm listening to you talk, Fabula. And by the way, hi, how are you? We're gonna have some people from the gaming team at GDC, by the way. So I'll connect you. You should definitely meet up with them, the CEO and some of the execs. I may pop in for a day and drive up. But what's cool about this conversation is, and something that Elf really hit home, like just with the company internally, is like, we always talked about like a decentralized fantasy franchise, right? And I think we were like, it's like a decentralized Lord of the Rings. But really, like, Elf helped us make this like mental adjustment, and he was like, it's really more Dungeons and Dragons than it is Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. And I feel like it just, like, for all the things you're saying, like the way you talk about Dungeons and Dragons from a community aspect, I think it really is a much better sort of comparison. And then just like on a philosophical level, when people ask me where I think the company goes, like the trajectory and the project goes, I actually use Wizards of the Coast as like the touch point, because Wizards of the Coast, like you said, it started like 50 years ago, maybe at this point, something like that.
Yeah, we just actually had 50th anniversary.
So what's cool is it started in the basements. It started with groups of friends a lot of times these people were outcasts. They weren't the most popular kids in school. You know, I had a hard time making friends when I was younger, and I never, yeah, and I never ended up. I never ended up like getting into Dungeons and Dragons. I ended up like playing music and all that whole scene. But yeah, but what was cool is it started in the basements, and then it just kept going, and it had this core community that really just enjoyed like the social aspect and the role playing aspect, and over the decades, it turned into a multi-billion-dollar franchise. And so like it's like this, it's like the rabbit and the hare story, right? Like if you stick with the nuts and bolts of what makes it special over time it just grows. And so that's why I just love the comparison so much.
Fabulous. I'm just so pumped to explore this a little bit more, and we're gonna dive in and do a bit more storytelling in D&D. But I also see Wild Mage jumped on up. Wild Mage, how you doing this afternoon? Happy Wizard Wednesday.
Oh, I'm doing pretty all right. I called in sick at work, and I'm having a free day.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to call in healthy, you know, and just take a rest day.
Yeah, you know how it goes. I just wanted to say that two things. One, that I've definitely had a lot of experience with like role playing, and I feel like it needs to be said that when it comes down to like Dungeons and Dragons, and like actually there's a lot of different like RPG systems like Shadowrun and all the White Wolf systems and whatnot, that like what it really truly boils down to is that it's really just improv acting with statistics. Like it's really it's not that more complex than that. I think sometimes that folks that are not necessarily have not had experience with Dungeons and Dragons and things like that, that they there's sort of a feeling of a little bit of intimidation about how to like, oh, how do I make this the character and the
books,
and all the stats and all the background and origin and all like that. No. You just it's improv acting. Like that's truly what it is. Like you just simply just just seep into your character, and yeah, it's yeah.
And one thing I really love about it is that once people get past like what you're talking about, which is that like, oh god, the game system, all I gotta figure all this out. Like, a good dungeon master can kind of like short circuit that and get people to step out of their like feeling that they can't be creative. And of course, this is yet another thing that Elf described, and they've walked a walk, Magic Machine, about it. The idea of putting your rune on the door is very much like the feeling that you get when you suddenly have the freedom to say what your character does. You can be creative, another person. You can do things you could never do in your life, right? It frees you up to step into that magic circle for a minute and just be a new, super powerful person and make a difference in the world, in an adventure fantasy way, and so that's to me. I've just seen it happen over and over again as I play, especially with new players. They just get so pumped because they realize the freedom, and then it's like, what's next? And that's the start of the infinite game for me.
Love that idea, the infinite game. Okay, let's dive in a bit more. You have.
I was also going to say, I'm sorry. Just one other thing, Fabula, with what you've been doing lately. Would you like to be the next guest on Monday Magic News? This coming next Monday.
Of course, yes, please. I'll run a game right on stream if you want.
Okay, yeah, because I've actually man, I totally like my father and some of his friends were super into D&D way back in the 70s, and like had all sorts of dragon magazines and things like that, and all sorts of dice and setups that like I got to explore when I was a kid. And me and Kingsley, who he doesn't necessarily tap into like Wizard Wednesday, but he's a friend of mine that I give a wizard to, and he's a part of our community, and he's actually been working on a few things within the community as well. But I would definitely like to potentially offer up. He is someone that literally, since the age of 16, like I went off and like explored drugs and women and such, but he actually just played D&D like consistently for years and years and years and years and years and years and years on end. So that like I don't know. I think that like you two need to possibly like meet up or so, because I think that he would possibly be able to help out.
That'd be great, man. I mean, we need folks to kind of take the manuscript and run it, as a part of the testing. So that sounds like a perfect matchup.
Yeah, no, we need to get you two hooked up, and yeah, this coming Monday. Does that sound cool?
I think so. Let's connect offline and we'll figure it out.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Cool.
Amazing. There you go. A little preview. Love it. Fabulous. Did you have a little piece of lore? Do you want to read a little bit of lore, or do you want to dive right into doing a little live gameplay? What do you think?
I think it's a good start to the little live gameplay. So this is a piece of lore on a warrior named Kaggle, assailant of Muscle Mountain. He's let's see, he is warrior. Where's the info here? Well, you'll have to search him up and find him. But yeah, so this is I'll read the lore. Cersei and Kaggle prologue. A moment from the past. This is a prologue to the FAB1 Family is Forever game module. So, side note, I've been sort of building pieces of lore into the module and vice versa, so that eventually you can do a little treasure hunt through all the tokens that are involved in the module and see a piece of art here, for instance, that has not yet been revealed. That is what Cersei looks like in the module for her portrait. And then the Kaggle portrait, of course, which I have like shared before. So continuing, a campsite in the middle of nowhere in the Runiverse. A warm ghost rain has just passed, leaving small ectoplasmic droplets that evaporate quickly. The flickering campfire plays against a primitive palisade surrounding the camp. Two seated figures are silhouetted by the firelight. And that's when I said, time to cook? Gentlemen, it's time for pigs to fly. All those assholes turned into pigs just like that, and I threw every last one of them out of the tower, and then I made a mean batch of pulled pork. You're one crazy magic bitch, Cersei. Damn. It's been said many times before by prettier men than you, Kaggle. So, are you really going to try to make this whole warlord turn noble thing work? Yes, ma'am. I want to leave my legacy on this land. I want to build, Kaggle turned, his large, heavy goblin axe, each nick and scratch, catching the light of the fire. I want to leave something more than all those deaths on Muscle Mountain. A legacy. Cersei regarded the young warrior in his prime. Well, I owe you one, Kaggle. When you need me, I'll be there. She stood up, draped her emerald snake about her shoulders, and disappeared in between one flick of its tongue and the next. Kaggle gazed into the firelight, envisioning the kingdom he would bring into the Runiverse. See more about the role-playing campaign? Link. So yeah, a little bit.
Amazing.
Of an intro.
I love it. I love that either you're using lore that you've written to sort of lead people into the game, and I think that's just perfect. That's just perfect. Outstanding. So you say things are taking a bit longer than you'd like on the campaign planning and building, but things are chugging along. I've seen you're requesting signups for people who want to give it a shot, play testing it. Yep. When are the next round of signups for playtests going out? Where should people go to learn more or to give it a shot?
Best place to start is just there's the project thread in the House of Wizards area. We can put a link up, but basically, yeah, that's kind of the best place to get any updates and just ask me questions. And then I can go from there for folks who want to raise their hand and do the playtesting. So yeah, and it's all just online. It's like 3 hours sessions, and generally looking at starting. We've done a few at first level now, and I think the next step is to kind of go, okay, you're higher level. You're in some areas that are further into this sandbox area. That's a kind of a wilderness crawl. That's kind of the structure of the campaign, and as you go further into it, you gain levels. Things get more dangerous, and so I need to start testing those further out scenarios.
Danger is fun. Danger sounds like a good time. So yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up because I got to get in there. It's been too long since I got to play with the Wizards. So definitely got to dive back in and get a game going. So come join me and Fabula, and we'll play. We'll make some magic. Very nice.
Cool.
Did we want to try like a bit of a lightning session right now?
Let's do it.
Do you want to play some D&D with us?
Yeah. Everyone cool with that? Let's see some hands. I'm actually going to see if we can do some participation where we do thumbs up and thumbs down on the situation, just to get some the chat into it. Cool.
Yo, can I join?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this one will be, obviously we're just going to do it real quick. It's just a theater of the mind, as they call it. But I'll give you a little preamble, and then you can describe your characters. So think about who you are and like what you do in the Runiverse. Okay, so I can just start that if you guys are ready. So basically, you are in the Kaggle Valley, which is far to the south on the big map, and it is not on any territory that's really been mapped yet. The closest landmark is to the east, which is the Bugbear boonies. So it is literally in the boonies. However, it's across the mountains to the west on the coast. So it's a kind of a valley that is kind of rocky foothills on the east side, central forests and swamps in the middle, and then heaths and dunes and coast to the west. And you two are walking along, just having gotten the start on your adventuring career. You were hired by this crazy green witch named Circe, Charmer Circe of the Heath, to find three ingredients that were you found out later were the key things to make an immortality potion for the lord of this area, warlord really, because it's still a savage land, Kaggle, who we saw earlier in the lore. So he's now an old man. She hasn't aged a day, but he thinks that his civilization, his work to civilize this area is not yet done. And he told you all this when you met with him and then sent you on your way. You also met his three children who really are not into the idea of him being immortal. And they all they don't like each other much. This is kind of a Succession setup, if you've ever seen that TV show. So you were like, okay, well, we still got a job to do. Cersei's going to give us a wish when and if we find the three things and give them to her, the ingredients, and they're all located in this massively dangerous wilderness to the north. We got to go explore it. That's what you're doing now. You just walked out of the village, got your quests going on, you're looking for various things, and you're just on the road in a forest that is gradually turning into a swamp directly to the north of the castle, putting it kindly, that Kaggle lives at. So, let's see. Why don't, Meeple Dad, describe yourself? What does your character look like? Maybe a quote that they would say to someone they were getting to know.
Well, Arkle is a goblin, and this dates way back to Arkle's early days, before he really started traveling on the high seas. This, like you say, this was his first adventure, before he became known as the Terror of the Salt. Arkle's is from the Nightmare Dominion, and he's never let if there was a quote that summed up Arkle, it'd say, "Never let a good opportunity go to waste."
Is this you?
Is that me? There is a picture on my game mat in front of me of a giant barbarian bear, which kind of looks like a bear version of Arkle. It's true. Oh. And Arkle is traveling with Buffy. Buffy, Story of the Road. Buffy, tell us what Buffy looks like.
I have an eagle. I have my sweater on.
A sweater, and an eagle companion. Arkle and Buffy.
You got to keep warm. It's true. On any adventure, sweater is very important.
Especially headed into the swamps. I mean, it might be flies, might be bugs. So that's Arkle and Buffy traveling. They've been rolling together for a while now and looking for opportunity. And this quest seems like a perfect chance to, earn some cash and maybe curry some favor to earn, a spot on the next adventure as well.
Oh yeah. Then there's definitely treasure to be had here. There's many legends and rumors, some of which you've learned about what's going on here in this valley. Wild Mage, please describe yourself and give me a quote for your character.
I'm just this isn't an actual token. I'm just throwing this out here, just random. Okay. This is my character is going to be Nicholas of the Wild, and he is going to be a halfling warrior that specifically specializes in using his ocarina to basically use I guess bard-like enchantments upon his friends and adversaries.
Cool. Magic with music? Love it. Okay. So you three, I guess, are walking along. We have Arkle the Goblin, Buffy the Eagle, and Nicholas of the Wild, a halfling bard. Weather gets weird. I'll just say this right now. No matter where you are in the Runiverse, the weather is deeply affected by the crazy machinations of the 10,000 cult wizards who are always using their powers to do various things, plots, have fun, be ridiculous, be evil, whatever. And so you just never know what the weather's going to be like. And I just rolled the weather, if you heard that. So right now it's a smoky, forgetful sky. So, you kind of look up as you go down into the sort of wetlands here, and you see, at first you smell that kind of like wood smoke, and there's probably a fire going on somewhere. And, you hope it's nobody's been hurt, of course, and you're ready to help if you see anything like that. But it seems far off. It's just kind of a haze that settles, and you can't remember your names for like a good 10 minutes. It's pretty odd, but then you remember them, the smoke clears, and you continue on your way. So the swamp extends out before you. Go ahead and so we're gonna do thumbs up and thumbs down here for people, and I'll count them and see if they're successful. Why doesn't everyone give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if they think that Nicholas is able to notice something that's stalking them from the swamp water? So everyone in the crowd, do a thumbs up or thumbs down. All right. Okay. So I got mostly. So Nicholas, you're maybe plucking a tune on your instrument, and you just so happen to sort of something gets out of tune. You're adjusting it, and you just see a glint in the water, and you noticed that underneath it is there's something moving. It looks like it's got two eyes, and it's just under the water with a small crest that's almost like a little, sort of a little top hat with a couple of eyes under it. It doesn't seem to notice that you've noticed it as you're sort of playing it off as you are using your instrument. What do you do?
I very, very quietly, in a very relaxed manner, put an arm on the shoulder of Arkle just to sort of alert him. And and then I start gently strumming a sort of a song of appeasement and relaxation.
Arkle
Great.
is startled by your stroking, but it finds it kind of soothing. Let's see. Arkle rolls a 19, and he sort of figures out that you're trying to tell him something. He's not the most perceptive of oafs, but he figured 19 is a pretty good roll, so he says, okay.
Yeah. So you
and
immediately
slowly
see.
draws his weapon.
Yep. So you immediately see like the cutest, like little slime emerge, and it's like kind of bopping along to the tune that you're playing. It's got like sort of dots for eyes. It's maybe 3 feet around and 2 feet tall. It's like a little dollop of slime. And it is coming towards you out of the water. And it's just kind of bopping along. And it looks so cute. So cute that you guys need to make some saving throws. So everyone go ahead and roll, or actually everyone in the group, thumbs up or thumbs down to see if they make the saving throw or not. So just for people's reference, this monster is a based on the slimes that we have in our collection, and they are described as small gelatinous creatures that appear harmless and even adorable at first glance. They come in various pastel colors and often have large expressive eyes, which are actually just darker spots on their bodies. Despite their charming appearance, these slimes are still dangerous oozes, capable of engulfing and dissolving small creatures or unwary adventurers. So the fight is on, and so what we would do at this point is see if y'all made your saves for the charm that it's cute wiggle.
Oh, do you want
power, disengage.
Do you want me, Meeple Dad, to actually like roll some actual like d20s?
Yeah, if you're feeling it, go for it. I mean, I was like, let's do that. We need to master the ability to crowdsource our rolls. I don't think this is going to quite work for this particular session, but we'll get it right next time. But go ahead and roll d20s. Let me know what you get.
All right, Buffy, you rolled a 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Buffy rolled 16. Arkle only rolled a 5, though. Whoa. Okay.
I rolled a 19, and my reaction was going to be to intentionally start strumming so as to sort of enchant and mesmerize the slime.
Okay. So
Arkle just thinks this guy's so cute. He drops his sword and goes to give it a great big hug.
That is exactly what you do. Except precisely, Buffy, you're like, no, wait, don't do that. And you're maybe like trying to pull Arkle, could keep him from going there. So you manage to keep him from being engulfed by the slime. And Nicholas, your charm. Let me see how that works. Oh my goodness. The slime is immune to your charms. Your magic sort of, turns into a sort of a semi-transparent wave of musical energy, and you see it just kind of like miss them. It goes through the thing. It's a mindless slime, so it's really more. It's just not able to appreciate your music. It's pretty tragic because it was a nice riff. Sorry, man. Okay, so the slime moves towards you. It's pretty slow though. It's now on the trail, and so now you all can do something to defend yourself. Right now, Arkle, you're charmed, so you need to make another saving throw to see if you can break out of the. It's so cute. Damn it!
And I'll roll a 3. Yeah, I'm lost. Just give me over to the slime's adorableness.
Okay. Okay. What is Buffy the Eagle going to do? She can attack it. She can do. Well, what do you want to do? You can try and slap Arkle to get him to stop being all charmed.
You gonna try to wake me up, or are you gonna fight the slime? See if you can break its cover.
I'm trying to wake you up.
All right, you're gonna try to make me snap out of it, eh? How are you gonna do that? Say, you gotta tell the story. How do you do it? You pop a balloon, and that's how you're gonna do it, eh? All right, we popped a balloon here. Maybe that'll snap me out of it.
A balloon appears right next to your head, and the eagle claws dig in, popping it loudly. Roll with advantage, which means you roll 2d20s and keep the best one for your saving throw.
Here we go. Ooh, what's the better one? What's the bigger number? 15. Not bad.
You got it. You are no longer charmed by the cute wiggle. So that's good because it's going to attack you now in a minute as soon as Wild Mage gets to go.
I was going to start strumming a melody of violence and aggression so as to inspire Arkle, but I only rolled a 7 on a d20.
Okay, it's okay. You can do a bonus action to. There's an action economy in the game. We're doing a little fast and loose here. You can go ahead and do that, and you are now inspired, Arkle, which means that you can make a roll at advantage at your leisure, at your choice. And then Wild Mage, you also get an action, so you could cast a spell at the slime. You could move. You could do anything else you want to describe.
I'm going to roll I guess I'm going to act. I'm going to take a defensive position in front of Buffy.
Okay, so it'll go after you instead of the eagle. Arkle, you are suddenly like, this thing is trying to murder us. It's a mindless murder machine made of slime that is used by hair gel by a certain famous musician / alpha Chad, a Giga Chad even. You gotta take it out. So what are you gonna do?
So we just rolled 2d20s. One was a 2, but the other one was an Illuminatus 20. Arkle finds a great big rock. There's a great big rock that's just sort of lodged in the swamp. He picks it up and just smashes the slime with the great big rock, sending splatter of slime ooze everywhere. It gets all over everything.
Oh yeah, no, it's it smells like Drakkar Noir, but it is dead now. It's no longer threatening you. You have squished the slime, and just then a shadow passes over where you are, and you look up, and you see a dragon. It's coming closer. It's getting bigger. And the closer it gets, the more you smell a horrible rotting smell. It's like Drakkar Noir, but left out in the sun for like a week. And this dragon, which is the size of like a Clydesdale horse, like 10 foot at the shoulder, not a big dragon, a young adult dragon, but it drops in and you recognize it as a black dragon. It's got a skull-like face. All of its scales are black, or at least they should be, but they're not. Because as it comes in for a terrible landing, smashes into the trail ahead of you, shaking the trees, and you guys you fall on your butts as it just literally crash lands right in front of you. You can see that this black dragon is twisted by aberrant slime. Its scales glistening with a sickly, iridescent sheen. Tendrils of corruptions writhe beneath its skin, and its breath has been enhanced with alien properties. You can see this fluorescent slime dripping from its jaws. It says to you, laying sort of really not elegantly, all just messed up on the trail, dripping slime off of parts of its body that's sort of seeping from under its scales. Help me. And we'll call it there.
I was going to say, as a side note, did we just establish lore in the Runiverse that slimes are a source of cologne perfume in the Runiverse?
I don't think I established that. I just assumed that because of the way that the Gigas Chad and the slimes were associated. I mean, Elf is here; he could talk about it, I guess. But I was just like, you know what? I want to make slimes a monster. What's their deal? And A, they're cute. B, you can use them for hair gel.
Well,
And maybe
fabulous.
also,
Thank you.
and,
That
and
was
maybe
a
also
great.
cologne.
Yeah, and maybe they smell fragrant and sweet if they've charmed you just right. That's
I
outstanding.
feel like
So
it's
that
kind
is
of
a
an
little.
amber. It's like an ambergris thing, like the whale puke is the core scent element.
Exactly.
Well, thank
Okay,
you
so
so
now I'd
much
like to
for
play
leading
D&D,
us.
everybody. Woo!
Yeah, that was great. That was great. So that's just a quick little sample. Oh, and Buffy wants everyone to know she just rolled 2 more natural 20s. We may have done
What?
several rerolls to get there, but it happened. We got there.
Wow, that's good. That's good. It's important to get that natural 20. You don't want those dirty 20s. You want the natural 20s.
What fun. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for leading us. I think it has been a heck of a week in the cult. We should do a quick little recap because this isn't the only community project that's been cooking this past 7 days. We've also had the beginning of the grand tour happening in the Black Sand Pony races for those who have been following along and joining. And I think there was just a big upset. Is that right, Fabiola? Tell us what happened in the grand tour.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. I mean, so my pony is a soul pony. Diabolos the exemplary. I've been rolling amazing, which is fun, of course. And I'm number 2, or at least last time I looked at number 2. I don't know right now, but I would have been number 1 if I hadn't cursed myself. So brutal. So brutal.
My gosh. So for those who don't know, the Black Sand Pony Races is a really fun little game. We play it in the Discord. So if you're in the Forgotten Runes Discord, you can jump into the Black Sand Pony Race Discord channel and join up. It's just a fun little game we play. You roll some D20 against a bot, and it's your pony just races along. We're doing the grand tour, which is a big adventure. So come check it out. It's a lot of fun. There's some cool prizes to be won as well. And we're gonna try to get Buffy in too, and she picked out one of my ponies, and she's gonna play as well.
We're actually not able to log in. It won't let us.
I'll figure it out. Don't worry. We'll get you in there. But yeah, so definitely join us in the Black Sand. It's a ton of fun for those who haven't yet. What else
and
is
also play the TCG, the Runiverse TCG, because that will give you a bonus to your ponies, a bonus roll that sometimes makes a difference between winning the whole thing and not.
Absolutely. We actually had a really fun night last night. Both Helen and Helen and Hugo were hanging out, playing some Runes TCG, getting their feet wet in the community project. So that was a ton of fun to sort of show them the ropes from the new team who just joined up with Bisonic there. So really fun to see that. And we also crashed the Runiverse pretty successfully last week. I think the team was definitely crashed because they were working nonstop for 3 days, just getting everybody the help they needed, playing Runiverse, and I think they were smashing metrics left, right, and center on that, which is really awesome to see. So hopefully we'll get a more thorough update from the team. Hopefully Hugo can join us again next week for another little update.
I believe we're going to have like kind of a town hall about it, right? Where they're going to sort of open it up, do a big chat in the Discord, and talk about the Crash Runiverse results and kind of all the learnings and stuff. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think that's tomorrow afternoon. Join Helen in the Forgotten Runes Discord, and she'll be hosting a bit of a hangout there. So definitely join her for that. It looks like it's going to be a blast. And other projects are just humming along as well. So jump into the Forgotten Runes. The DAO Discord has a lot of things going on, so jump on over to that channel as well. Buffy has one more update here. What you got, kiddo?
I'm probably going to release the next version of Buffy.
The next story.
Yeah. And also the comic.
Yeah, a story and a comic. Hopefully coming soon. Speaking of comics and stories and art, let's dive into the Cult Content Chronicle.
All right.
Compiled by.
What's next? Are you okay? You being tickled? Is that what's happening? They're tickle fight.
Yeah, I'm fending off children here. The illustrious Tanya Del Rio. It's amazing. Another beautiful week in the Cult Content Chronicle, as always. Week 105. 105. Fabulous. Do you have it open? You want to join me cruising through here?
I don't, but let me know where.
No problem. I'll get us started. You let me know if you want to tag in. So, number one, we've got an exciting update from Rune's TCG. Speaking of the Rune's TCG team, they have launched never before seen 4x4 game board, which is really cool. And I want to actually hang on this for just a moment because this is really special. Rune's TCG was sort of built on the base primitive of a mini game from Final Fantasy called Triple Triad, and it was sort of the inspiration. And up until this moment, Rune's TCG really was just a copy of Triple Triad with amazing new art and all this fantastic stuff. But this moment in time is where it diverges and truly becomes something of its own that is taking the base idea and then growing and becoming more. And I just love it so much. I can't wait to get in there. Big shout out to Give a Hoot and Leo who've got this off the ground. So bravo, guys. Can't wait to get in there and play a bit myself and earn those much needed Black Sand pony rolls.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I just want to talk a little bit about the cards and the art on the cards. Like, something that is so great is the way that you have maintained a consistent art style and yet built out like a whole set of really cool visualizations of monsters and characters and, you know, all the different sort of Rune. I just like it because it's like I love that because it's a new view on all of these different things that, you know, we have kind of a big collection of the official stuff, but then you're filling out all of this stuff that we kind of talk about, but never was visualized before. And we've talked a little bit about this, but I have been trying to take as many cards as I can and then stat them up for use and then put them into encounters and stuff in the module, right? So, you know, that the slime was like kind of one example, right? And another example is the null goat. Null goats are scary. They're real scary, and in this D&D thing, yeah. So anyway, I really love that the art is just so compelling and cool, and kind of fits right in to taking the idea of like 16-bit art, the style, pixel art, and making it something that creates a whole world around it in a way that is across so many different projects. So I'm excited to like cross-pollinate like that.
Absolutely. It's just outstanding. So definitely dive in, get some Runes TCG games going, and it's free. May I remind you once again, it is literally free to play Runes TCG. So you got no excuse. It's so good. Number two, speaking of beloved projects, the Black Sand is, of course, taking off on the Grand Tour. Get that mecha pony, go giddy up, and go check it out. Number three, also on it's just a banger of like community projects pumping stuff out. Acid Eater built a bunch of walk cycles for baby wizards. Baby wizards getting some walk cycles going on, which is really, really fun. I don't know if these are totally complete or if this is just a couple of them that she's got done, but they look fantastic. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, I mean, Baby Wizards has always been close to my heart. I have a bunch of them, and there's an encounter, you can adopt a baby wizard in the D&D game. You need to make a pretty serious commitment to do that. But the plucky prodigy baby wizards can be a pretty interesting companion for your game party. And in the few playtests we've done, I've only had one group adopt one because they're so scared of the deal you have to make. Which I thought was appropriate because you got to take care of a baby. But these babies are very smart.
I can't wait to explore that. That sounds like so much fun. Awesome. Gillen Art, number 4. Gillen Art created this stunning piece inspired by the heart of FRWC, the Book of Lore itself. We're now making art about the Book of Lore. It's so meta. I love it. I love it. Wise Sam, the outstanding Wise Sam, did another fantastic piece featuring Frog Eater, and announced that he's going to be starting to take some commissions again, which is really exciting. So if you're curious, there is always the DAO Ministry of Art grant proposal program. So if you're curious, you want to get some Wise Sam the Viper artwork going, reach out. Maybe get a DAO proposal in. Could be good. Could be good. Number 6, OXDilo is once again at it using some AI to create some really funky, cool gens of his wizard. It looks like he's in the middle of an interview or something, gesticulating boldly with his hands. Love that. Love that piece. Ozma Bro, number 7. Ozma Bro is cranking out just another piece after another piece. This looks like some kind of almost like a hieroglyphic wizard or something. Looks pretty funky. Something to do with Sorcerer Ilias, SPZ wizards. I'm gonna say we're gonna have to wait and see, because it specifically says work in progress. So more coming soon from Ozma Bro. Speaking of works in progress, oh man, I'm excited about this one. Number 8 is Marco Fine, who has an outstanding work in progress of a fierce Loxodonta. Those are the big elephant warriors. And honestly, so cool. Like if Marco Fine was just like, it's done, I would absolutely support this, because holy Toledo. And this isn't a digital piece. This looks like actually hand-drawn, either pencil or pen. I'm not sure the medium, but it looks like I'm seeing like masking tape on a piece of canvas. It looks just so cool. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah, it was really fun working with Loxodons into the sort of lore of things, and like there's a very fun character that people can encounter in the game in the module about who's like based on a lot of like Delicious in Dungeon sort of tropes that I think people will be like into. But this piece is like so cool. Is he going to watercolor it or like what?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's going to be amazing. And fantastic news, Daniela Illustra, speaking of physical hand-drawn artwork, is back.
God, I love this project.
Back in the saddle. Yeah, she's the comic she's working on, the DAO-funded comic, is well underway, and we've seen sort of teases, trickles of all these outstanding pieces. Two Crows and some other wizard. I know who it is, but it just doesn't come to mind right now. But yeah, really cool to see Daniela just laying a bunch of pieces out there. So much fun.
Gorgeous. Also, her lettering is so cool. Like, yeah, like just style drips from all of this whole project.
It's outstanding to me when an artist can make word bubbles art. You know, and Daniela absolutely does that. Like the word bubbles themselves in the comic are part of the artwork. It's just outstanding. Edge to edge, corner to corner, these pages are magic. Gravorla, our fantastic friend Gravorla, is got some new illustrations, progress shot of his wooden boy Wiz. I love this guy. This is Benoit. There's been a bunch of pieces Gravorla's done with this, and I'm not sure what he's up to. Looks like he's snatching some kind of ancient crystal.
Iridescent. Yeah, it's an iridescent ring.
That
thing's got like a cap of 500 mana. It generates like tons of mana every day. Like, yeah, no doubt. I understand why
he's doing the Indiana Jones thing where he's like got the frog in one hand and it looks like he's about to leave his familiar behind to snatch the ring. I love it. How's that gonna work out for him? He's gonna be chased by a giant magic Luminatus boulder. And then after that, we head to, let's see, that one shows up twice. Mystery. So number 10 happens twice, and we jump to number 12. Maybe there's a secret number 11 somewhere that we have to go back to, but we'll find out later. Number 12, Feckless Mage is just having some fun streaming, playing in his emotional support wizard, doing some stream. I guess he's playing in Blender or some kind of technology thing. I don't know what it is because I'm ignorant, but looks like he's playing around. Douglas was live streaming earlier too, just playing some World of Warcraft, old school World of Warcraft. So jump in, see what Feckless is streaming because he's always got something going on.
Yeah, it's
Number
really cool.
13.
I love this like VTuber kind of, I think that, I would love to see more and more and more Wizards and Warriors like get on streams with their with their as their characters. Like I've done a thing where I'm like driving the animated version of my Fabula 3D wizard with a webcam, using VC face, right? And then, having them as like little AI characters that are hanging out with you, commenting and that kind of stuff. Like it's just so crazy what you can do now. And we were talking about, I was at a panel last night, actually, at the Game Developers Meetup at San Francisco. And we were talking about UGC and like projects that actually give you UGC that allows you to then go and use it and, sort of have fun doing cool stuff that just so happens to also promote the project. And it's like, this is the perfect storm for what the Forgotten Runes does. Like being able to have that 3D character and have it go and do stuff with you in like in gaming context or in other like kind of ways you're being social is so amazing. And there's very few other projects that are doing it. So I think this is something that I really hope to see more of.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It's just a fun way to hang out too. Number 13, Nard and Soda. Nard Soda is dancing his way through the XP announcement video there. Always happy to see Soda jumping on stream. This dog is so cute. I am proud to say I'm the very first wizard who ever got to meet Soda in person, and dear Lord, it's an adorable animal. Love that. Love that dog. Love that dog. Speaking of Soda, Jmander.eth did some adorable Nard and Soda art as well, which is just super fun, hanging out by Dreammaster Lake with the cutest puppies in the Runiverse. 15, Clooney the Rat is just, this man cannot be stopped. Clooney the Rat is just pounding away, generating one thing after another in Nifty Island. Again, you still can earn island tokens for just playing Nifty Island. Go check out what Clooney's got cooking, and there is so much really fun stuff he's built. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of
that castle looks sick. It's so cool, great looking. Oh my god, just the waves
top-down
and the
view
texture is so good.
Yeah, like, and I know from playing in Nifty Island, you're going to be able to like wall jump off of some of these, ledges and stuff like that too. I bet, like within the castle, it's going to be super fun. I got to get in there again and give it a shot. Tiki Teak shared this hilarious video of yet another cult leader where he did the AI thing where he gets Trump in the White House to talk about how big a role the Wizards are going to have in the coming administration. So yeah, definitely go give that a listen because it's pretty amusing. It's pretty amusing.
It's hilarious. Like, great job.
So
I'm
funny
laughing because I were not crying. Yeah.
Yep. Bread ventures continue. Today's bread venture, buckle up. If you're getting on an airplane, you got to get your seat back up, your tray table stowed, and your bread tucked into your seat back pocket. Because bread venture is off again. I leave at 6:00 tomorrow morning, headed out to Ottawa this time, our Canada's capital, for another big Magic weekend. So off we'll go again.
And our dear games, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it should be a good show. Probably the biggest of the year. Well, I mean, it's just the beginning of the year, so it'll definitely be the biggest of the year. But probably the biggest of the last 12 months. Possibly our largest show ever. We'll see. It should be a good one. Monday Magic News is jamming every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Pacific. So join the boys live in the Obsidian Tower every Monday night. There's always a special guest. Maybe it'll be Fabula. Maybe we'll continue our adventure. You never know. Should be a good time.
What's up with that big half slime dragon? Gosh.
Yep.
And since Hinboyd is not going to be present for the next Monday, Bill is going to be our special co-host.
Cool.
Wicked. Well, enjoy a week off, Henboy. Much deserved. Glad to see that you and Bill will hold down the fort. And then there's this show that we're doing right now. That's the final episode.
So meta.
In the CCC. So meta. Well,
I
Wizards,
did want
what you got
to say.
for?
I did want to say as a side note, both my wallets now have over 4,000 lore rankings.
For those who haven't played with the lore ranker, this is a super fun tool. Everyone should go give it a shot. The lore ranker, I'll find the link and I'll link it. But it basically is a way to dive in and read some lore, explore what's going on in the book of lore. And you do not need to rank 4,000 pieces of lore to enjoy the lore ranker. You can. If anyone can rival Wild Mage, I'm as far as I know, he holds the record for the most lore ranked out of anybody. So definitely go see if you can give him a rival. But even if you get, read 100 pieces, read 50 pieces, read 10 pieces. Just go enjoy the lore ranker because reading lore is fun. You should read more lore.
Yeah, please post like kind of a little how-to, like a step-by-step would be super awesome. Because to be honest, I always hear about it, but I'm like, I can never figure out how to go do it.
Yeah. It's just forgottenrunes.com/lore/rank. I'll share it, and you just do yourself a favor and make sure you're logged in with a wallet that you own. You don't need to sign a transaction. You don't even need to you don't need to pay gas or anything. But there's been whispers that doing the thing with your wallet registered is probably a good idea. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So go check it out. Read some lore. There's some amazing stuff in the book of lore, and it doesn't see enough attention. So anyone else? Last final moments? Any last ideas? All right. With that, this has been Meeple Dad, Fabula, Wild Mage, Bear Snake, and the entire Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult. We'll get Fabula to take us out here.
Yeah, cheers. Enjoy this Wizard
I'm a
Cult
wizard,
DJ
mind
mix.
you.
Let's run the page for it.
I'm a wizard, mind you. 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 I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard, mind you. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard.